All right, well, First Step Home. Have not seen you for a year, I think.
Yeah.
So what is new?
There's a lot that's
Right. How much time do you have?
However long you want to Zoom.
All right. Well, great. Yeah, we're always looking for better, enhanced ways to serve the women that come through our doors as well as the children. I think since the last time you were here, we have a 23-unit apartment building that's now part of our continuing care services for the women. So the women now can have their own apartments with children living with them. And that has certainly enhanced what we do here at First Step Home, allowing for longer term treatments, services, safe, affordable housing for the women that come to First Step Home. We have also added additional medical services here in order to be able to provide not only behavioral health, but mental health services and physical health services as well. And of course, that greatly enhances recovery here with the women, not only short term, but long term. We've also added services, and that's where we are asking for your support for our children here. As you are aware, we've always had children here at First Step Home, but we are now intentionally providing wraparound services for those children. We have a child resiliency grant that we have been providing speech pathology services for the children. We have a pediatric nurse, and we have a family therapist to help not only with mom and her care, but really treating the entire family.
Well, Margot, just hold on one second. I
Sure.
forgot to introduce you. So
Okay, all right.
Who are you? Just, I mean, I know who you are, but if you could introduce yourself to the other members of our board, and then we'll introduce ourselves also. So you're Margot.
Sure, forgive me. I get so excited about talking about First Step Home. I forget who I am and what we're here for or any of those things. But I'm Margot Spence, and I'm the president and CEO of First Step Home. I've been with First Step Home almost 20 years. In fact, it'll be 20 years, I believe, in July. And prior to that, I was the director of the halfway houses and drug treatment programs for women with Talbert House and over their jail minimum security program. Prior to that, I worked for juvenile court, and I ran their their aftercare programs at a facility called Hillcrest. You may be familiar with that. It's been in business for many years.
Okay.
So that's a little bit about me.
Who are your friends here with you today?
Sure. Introduce yourselves, Rachel and Dave.
Ladies first, Rachel.
Okay. I'm Rachel Lyon. I'm the Director of Development and also responsible for PR at First Step Home. I have an eclectic background, as many development people do. I've been a professor and a documentary filmmaker. I've made about 65 or so documentaries that have been broadcast and gone to festivals, etc. I have been at First Step Home about 6 years, and or coming up upon 6 years, and that's it on me.
Okay, you're up, Dave.
Okay, great. I'm Dave Nusher, and I am the Director of Finance here at First Step Home. Been here for a little bit more than 3 years, 3.5 years, and it's one of these things where I always brag about it, but people go, you drive an hour to work and an hour home every day, and I do. I live in Waynesville, Ohio, if you've heard of that. And they're like, that's crazy. And it's like, no, this is just one of the best jobs I have ever had. And I'm excited to get here every day and stay here late a lot of times. That helps out with the traffic. But anyway, I've been in the field of human services, mostly in substance abuse treatment, pretty much my entire career. So I've been doing this for just about 30 years or so, and been in the financial, the administrative, and have held a couple of CEO positions also during my career. But doing the director of finance it's a very rewarding job, and we've been doing very well as an organization, and just glad to see that continue.
All right, well, I'm Ruth Cleet, the trustee of the Elsa Sewell Foundation, and then I'll let the others introduce themselves real quickly, starting with Dick today.
I'm Dick Berger-Troy. I'm a member of the advisory board of the Elsa Sewell Foundation.
And lifelong friend of Elsa.
And lifelong
Right.
friend of Elsa's, yes.
Frank?
Frank Hicks, a board member.
Yep.
Hi, Andy Crusher, board member.
Right, it's a pleasure to meet you all.
You too.
So this is a new program. Is it in operation, the support services for the children? Is this new or new to us?
Okay, some of the components have already started. They've been online for probably, I think it's been about a year. We did receive a grant through the city of Cincinnati to bring on the pediatric nurse, the speech therapist, and a couple of the other positions, as well as I believe with Interact for Health, we had some funding to get the program started. We, however, are waiting on funding from the state for capital dollars to do the renovation for the building, where we're hoping to have all of the services in one site. So we've started, but for the entire operation, we're waiting on the renovation for the building. Due to the COVID situation, a lot of folks have been working from home. There's been a lot of delay in approvals. So that's where we are at this point.
We have essentially started the elements of it, the pieces, and then now need to catch up with the building. Usually a situation where you're saying we're all ready except for the money, but our situation is we've raised the money. We're just waiting on, things to come through from the city, as Margot indicated.
Yeah.
What would the Elsa Sewell funds be used for specifically?
We would be using your funds. It would be about 6% of the total cost of running the Family Unity Center program. And we would be using some of the money, a small amount, on administration, a significant portion of it on clinical staff, and then some of the funds for utilities, repair and maintenance, education, training, and all the stuff that office supplies, all the stuff that never gets funded but is needed in every place that you look. So it's spread among quite a few categories.
In your medical program for the children, the ages of the children are, I would assume, birth until what age?
For here on campus, up to the age of 12.
And do you now, or do you anticipate regularly scheduling children for not just speech pathology, but hearing, sight, dental items?
I'm sure we will get to that, because what we're seeing, at the further we go, we're expanding our services for whatever the needs are for the women and the children. At this time, that has not been in our categories, but in the long run, honestly, we would like to bring on campus here kind of a clinic that will address more than the issues we're currently addressing.
Or at least screen for items,
Yes.
because you can't treat everything.
No, we certainly can't treat everything, but what we have found, the more we can provide here on campus, so that the women don't have to travel to other places to receive services for themselves or their children, it's better in the long run.
I had a quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
I had a quick question on like your mental and behavioral therapy for the kids there. Is that a one-on-one session, a group session, family session, all the above?
At this time, the focus is on the children and the moms. As we have the space with the Family Unity Center, there will be more group family types of approaches.
And I think I saw in the application, you said like in 2019, you were seeing like 57 kids. What percentage of the kids that are living there is that? Is that 100%? Is that 50? Is that, I mean, how many kids are there and what percentages are you seeing for these services?
It's about 2/3 of the kids. So we generally have around 90 kids a year, and we served around 70 last year. And we find that they tend to, those that come to our therapeutic environment tend to improve. They tend to have behavioral improvement. They tend to not be so afraid of leaving their mom or, you know, being at childcare, that kind of thing. So the vast majority we've had success with that, who, you know, of those kids that we've treated.
I was looking at your list of organizations, funding sources, and it looks like you do pretty well in the grant area and government, but your individual and event fundraisers are not very high. And I just wondered, I mean, I see your events reported, you know, in different areas, the movers and makers, or they look rather successful, you know, from just looking at them. But I just wondered if the individual support was a target of improvement.
Absolutely. When I started 5 years ago, we didn't have a development department. So we had to put together literally stone by stone and data file by donor management software and all that, the entire process of development. We decided to go first for grants because that would be the most fertile area. So it's kind of one leg of the stool. Another leg of the stool is corporate, which we have not had a lot of support except for during the gala from corporate. I think there's still a stigma around addiction. And then individuals. We have increased the number of individuals that give to us and the amount that they give, but this is still an area where we are working to increase our major donors, our donors that give more than once a year, etc. So right now we're getting ready for our virtual gala, which is going to be on television, actually May 5th. So if you want to see a beautiful half hour about us, go to Channel 9 at 7:30 on the 5th.
How did you get on Channel 9?
We made a partnership with WCPO.
Mhm. So the event that you're going to have on Channel 9, and what date was that? May
May 5th,
5th. And what time is it?
7:30 p.m.
7:30. What will you be featuring? What will the format be?
We will see a beautiful video about First Step Home. We'll get to know what's going on and how other people can help. There'll be little sessions where, you know, dial your 41444 and
Mhm.
give to First Step Home. And then we'll have a, excuse me, we'll have a video on each of the awardees. And hold on, I'm trying to decline that. 1 second, I don't know why it's not responding.
Must be the bat phone.
It's the computer, not the, there we go.
Okay.
It's the computer, not the phone. Okay. We will then have 3 fantastic videos of the 3 awardees, one of whom is Dr. Odell Moreno Owens, who's been the
Mhm.
head of Interact for Health for the last 5 years. So we're pretty excited about them. And then we'll have a wonderful closing video about women and children and parenting and learning to do all of living a normal life over again. So it's only a half hour. It's
Yeah.
really tight and it's really strong.
So do you have corporate sponsorship for that to promote it and pay for the time on Channel 9?
Yes, we do. We have Huntington Bank, we have North American Properties, we have Ball and Gaynor. You know, we have some significant, support from donors and other nonprofits. Such
So
as
will they get commercials during the show?
No, we will show their logo for the big ones and we will read the sponsors and show a credit the sponsors who have given. So we do definitely acknowledge the people that have been significant sponsors to the film.
Okay. How are you going to promote that ahead of time so that the general public gets involved?
We're doing 3 press releases. We're doing a lot of social media, and the station is going to do dozens of spots promoting it. So
Wow.
we have a strong promotion plan.
Well, that's good. So I'm sorry, is that a Saturday night? What night is it?
The first broadcast is a Wednesday night,
Okay.
followed by on May 8th, Saturday night, a second broadcast.
Oh, so it's on 2 times?
Yeah.
Yes, twice, actually.
Wow. So will you be targeting, I'm assuming, your individual donor base at that point?
Exactly. That will
Yeah.
be very focused on that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Good. All right. Frank, do you have any questions?
One question, you said the children were in your program up to age 12. What happens to them after that?
The older children often are with family members. They are able to come and visit on the weekends. Some are in foster care, but due to space limitations, we made the decision at the very beginning, and it has worked well for us to only allow children up to the age of 12 here at this time.
Thank
So
you.
their parent might remain a resident, but children need to go with another family member at that point, right?
Yes.
How many children do you have at average at one time on your campus?
We see around 90 children a year. So in terms of an average, I mean, we have a little baby boom going on right now. 4 women are giving birth or have given birth this month.
Yeah.
And so it depends on when you ask us as to how many we have. But I guess we have 15 or 20 kids.
Yeah, it's around 20, on an
Yeah.
average, about 20 or so kids.
Do you have a vaccination program for the children? You know, just the regular
We,
vaccination?
we don't do it here, but we make sure that the children are vaccinated. We are very connected with Children's Hospital with, in fact, one of the individuals we will be honoring on the 5th is Dr. Weddick, that is just retired from Children's Hospital. And we make sure that the children have the vaccines that they need. We just recently, and Dave, you may want to talk a little bit about that. We highly recommended that folks here at First Step Home receive the vaccine for the virus, and we continue to work on that to make sure that our environment is as safe as it possibly can be for everyone here.
We, I think it was just about a week, a little bit over a week ago or so, we had approximately 30 of the women that were on campus, probably representing about half. There's still a lot of stigma and a lot of reservation about getting the vaccine. And matter of fact, my daughter works at a hospital up in Dayton, and even our doctor here that represents kind of the Tri-Health system. So there's still a lot of even hospital employees that have opted to not yet get the vaccine. But we were able to get probably about half of our clients vaccinated. And it had a nice little side effect. Since they all lived and didn't turn into zombies,
Yeah.
the other ladies that haven't received the vaccine are like, oh, so it didn't hurt, you didn't get sick. So we have more that are now interested in getting the vaccine. And we had the Cincinnati Health Department come out, and they brought 4 nurses, and they were here for about 4 hours and did a great job getting the first group vaccinated, and then they'll be back in about another 2 weeks or so for the second dose.
Yeah.
So we are happy to get that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably the majority of our own staff here have received the vaccines. I know everybody on this floor has.
Yes, definitely.
Because we all cried about having to get the shot.
Yeah.
You know, we're still striving to make sure that the employees here have opportunities to get the vaccination, you know, working in healthcare. So you know, we've done pretty good there, and I'm glad that we are able to get the clients. We absolutely emphasize and require that they wear masks going into meetings, going from one building to the other here on the campus. And they do a pretty good job of that. They certainly know everybody's got their you know, things either hanging off their ear if they're going to a meeting or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
So I guess the most important thing is just making sure for all of our system, the safety issues for not only the behavioral health, but the physical health part and the mental health. That's what we're trying to do here at First Step Home, to really focus on the entire person.
What are your outcomes looking like at this point in terms of someone graduates from your program and goes out into the world? Do you keep track of what happens to them and their successes or failures?
You know, we love to keep track of every woman who's been in First Step Home. It is expensive and really difficult to
Yeah,
do
It
that.
really is.
People move, they change their phone numbers, they change their last names, they get married, whatever. The population tends to not be very stable once they leave. So we do keep track of some of the women, and some of the women keep track of us. I just talked to a woman who graduated in 2006 and is still sober and now has 4 grandchildren and all that stuff. And she, you know, credits First Step Home with saving her life, and probably is true. But we've tried off and on to put a group together of alumni and things like that. And it has petered out, or not, it has not gotten going in a way that it's kept going.
What type of things do you measure of the residents that are there? Do you measure the number who successfully complete the program, how long the average stay is, and so forth?
Yes, we do.
All the above. We are required through the state. We submit our different target areas for those that have clean drug test. Also for those that have housing when they leave here. Those that have employment, you know, we have certain targets that we submit to the state.
And are your numbers, are your success rates going up or down over the last couple of years?
Our success have remained pretty constant, honestly. I tell you, we're the clients that complete our residential program and then go on our housing, that's where we see the biggest success. To be honest with you, the problem that we are currently having are clients that keep their appointments for admission. And this isn't only an issue here at First Step Home, but throughout the community. And we think it has something to do with the opioids, not keeping their appointments. We're seeing a lot of clients that need withdrawal management. And we're trying to build that particular area of our service.
Okay.
That's the challenge for us currently. Those clients that need withdrawal management, formerly referred to as detox.
Right. And are you able or not able to do that?
We're in the middle of trying to bring that online with our medical department. There's some areas that we need to enhance in our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week treatment program, where we're setting aside beds to be able to bring that online, because that is a critical need for not only First Step Home, but for our community, for clients that need withdrawal management detox before they can actually get into treatment.
Right. How does Talbert House handle that?
They have started an engagement center, and I don't know all the details about that, but there is a need. So many agencies are looking at how to best do that, because many women present, they want services here at First Step Home, but because of regulations, we have not been able to do the detox, and that's what we're trying to bring online with the proper medical support here at First Step Home. And we just had all of that approved from our board, and we're in the process of posting for a position, a medical, a nurse supervisor, to bring that person on to be able to help us develop that service, as well as our medical physician.
Is that something that other nonprofits serving in the same area that you do, like Talbert House and maybe some others, could collaborate on a detox center that then would spin off the graduates to the appropriate program?
That has been in place, but it doesn't work well. And it's only because, well, it's difficult for us because when a woman comes here, we hate for her having to go somewhere else because often they don't make it to the other center, and they choose a particular center because that's where they want their treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for us, it's very relational focused,
Mm-hmm.
and women seem to do better when they are surrounded by other women.
Okay.
Let me ask a quick question, Ruth.
No.
Am I correct that I read in your application that if a child enters this program, that it's a 12-month program? Is that like a school that it's up to 12 months, or they have to stay in there 12 months, or after 3 months they could leave?
People in our program can leave anytime they want. We are not a lockdown facility. There is no restriction. But many organizations give like 30 days to start with. We give that 30-day residential treatment, 24/7 treatment, and then they step down once they've got 30 days and are a little bit more solid on their sobriety to outpatient, intensive outpatient living, which is on our campus. We have 12 buildings, and most of them are houses for women to live and recover. If a woman goes 6 months, she can, and does well and has a job and things like that, she can go to sober living, which is another shared house situation. And now, as Margot mentioned earlier, we also have the 23-unit apartment. So we definitely bring people along. So people can be near us for a couple of years, actually, and some of them have. So 12 months is more a neutral mid number, if you will, of how long we keep the women.
I was referring mostly to the children in the resiliency program. That's just for however long they stay in the program.
Yes, often they stay as long as their mom is here with us.
Yeah, mostly all of our services are really built around the client. It's very individualized, based on the treatment plan that has been developed, the goals and objectives that have been set up with mom. Sure.
Okay, you've asked in the grant application to us for a 2-year split, $7,500 for 2 years. Are some of the other foundations for which you have either received or have applied for funding, are they multi-year also?
We have had multi-year grants. We would be thrilled if you guys wanted to come in 1 year for $15,000. We suggested the 2-year because we got information that you had been slammed with a lot of applications, and we thought it might be easier to work it out over a 2-year period. But don't feel shy.
Well, you're correct. We have 38 grant applications.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Now
a lot to
that's
review.
out of 84 LOIs.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, we were shocked. Were there any special things? Did you get the PPP money and other support from the government regarding the virus situation?
Dave?
Yes, we've been very fortunate to have got the PPP. We applied immediately through Huntington bank. And we then went through the subsequent part of proving that we used those dollars. The real emphasis behind the PPP dollars, as you know, was don't let your people go. Keep your employees here, keep them hired, keep them engaged, which of course we planned on doing anyway. So we did that. Our payroll never shifted from the start of the pandemic to current. We actually probably have more employees at this point in time than we did, in March of last year when the pandemic started. So we were able to apply for the forgiveness part of that, where you have to go through a process with the SBA. And just about a week and a half ago, we got notice from Huntington and the SBA that the loan has been forgiven and is now a grant. And that was the real emphasis behind the program. Essentially, we continued to use dollars or whatever from that to keep our payroll and to keep our people engaged. And so we haven't really missed a beat. Our census has dropped a little bit, but that also has to do a lot with the issues working with the courts and probation officers, et cetera. They're all working from home now. I think folks are starting to get back into the kind of bricks and mortar locations, but a lot of them working from home, that has slowed down the system to some degree. So we continue to work looking at ways to increase those referrals, to network, to get out there. One of the things that's going on is there is a lot of competition now. And I think Margot hit on that we've got to keep our ears to the ground. Now, we do have a specialized program with women only and with women with children, but there's still a lot of competition out there. And we think we do it best. We've been doing this well over 20 something years, 27 years, Margot, does that sound about right?
28, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, yep. So we are fortunate to get that. We also took advantage of quite a few other smaller grants that were available with the COVID-19 issues. There's grants for things that we could do in terms of connectivity, making sure that we could connect via Zoom, matter of fact, to our clients, some of which, might have been hesitant to come to a meeting or to come on site. So we could have virtual counseling sessions, as well as to purchase the PPE, which is the personal protective equipment. We did get quite a few donations of masks and some other things, but then we had to also buy other products, which all of us have lots of these in our office. Fortunately, they've started to get cheaper now.
Well, you can find them now.
Yeah, now we can find them. Used to be that we'd send out an all points bulletin if we located them at a Sam's Club, and they'd only let you get, 8 or 10 at a time or something. So we've done very well. I think we have quite the team here, and we network really well.
What about the education of the children? Just speaking of, the technology and all, have you been able to equip the children, or have they gotten it from a different source through school? I think the school bus stops at your area to take the kids to regular school when school's in session.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's been a very unusual time. Almost all of our children are toddlers, newborns. They are in our regular daycare. We have not, with the opioid situation, we haven't had a lot of school age children. I don't know what that's all about, but that's what we've seen.
All right. Well, I appreciate you bringing us up to date. Do you have any questions for us?
Just interested.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Barbara.
Okay, I was just going to say, just interested in your current process, your timelines, those kinds of things.
Our meeting is on the 29th of April.
Oh, okay.
And then we always try to get back with everybody within a week thereafter of the decisions. And so that's it. Then our next session starts with LOIs due on June 1st.
All right, thank you.
Has the foundation had any shifts in what you guys emphasize as far as funding and organizations, et cetera? I mean,
Not
looking
really.
Okay.
We, this time last year, we did not participate with the Greater Cincinnati Foundation or Northern Kentucky Foundation regarding the COVID fund. We elected to do our own private funding, meaning food pantries and things like that. We would fund on our own as opposed to going into a major fund. We tried to stay as much on our regular business as we could for those nonprofits that were still in process. You know, so a lot of the summer programs, camps and things like that, that we usually would support didn't happen. So they just naturally kind of fell off. But we tried to stay with as much regular programming as we could.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Oh, Mom probably hung up twice. We're on a Zoom meeting.
Okay. So there's, that's probably Jordan calling in.
I don't care.
Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. So anyway, that's kind of how we have kept going. But I mean, we still have the same focus areas.
That was what. I know
Same
from time to time-
criteria. We
sometimes
just have
there's
a whole
shifts.
lot more funding requests.
Well, we appreciate your past support for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And we know it's not an easy process making decisions with, you know, so many different applicants. So we appreciate the time and energy that you all put into that. We know it's not easy.
Well, and we appreciate you all coming to our little Zoom meeting and bringing us up to
course.
date on what's going on, because, you know, even though we know you from the past, I know things always happen. There's always new challenges and new successes that we always like to hear about. And Frank, do you have any last words?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you for your
Dick,
time.
any
No.
closing?
Nope, it's a good meeting. We appreciate all that you're doing and certainly appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
All right, so like I said, we'll provide this to our folks who were not here today, and they will get every word of what you said. And we'll see on the 29th what shakes out.
All right.
Well,
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. Good
And
to see you again.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right.